This short video is designed for anyone using Vevox or a feature of Vevox for the first time. Vevox is incredibly simple to use, and by the end of the video, you will have a good understanding of how all the key features work, as well as where to find further information. We will cover accessing your Vevox dashboard, creating a new session, running live polls, present view, quizzes, managing Q&A, running surveys, data and reporting, session settings, integrations, and upgrading to a paid account. If you would like to skip to a specific part of the video, you can go to the timestamps on screen, or find them in the description below, as well as our help site. Logging into your Vevox account dashboard. Right, let's get started. Your account dashboard is accessible through any internet browser and allows you to control all the features of Vevox, manage your account, and access our help and support. Head to vevox.com and log into your account. Please note, the first time you log in, there is a short guided tutorial to help you get started. Creating and managing Vevox sessions. Vevox allows you to have an unlimited number of polls and interactive sessions within your dashboard. This means you can prepare content in advance, refer back to old data, or even go back and reuse previous sessions. Let's create our first session. Your new session will appear on your dashboard and a unique session ID generated. This will be what you provide to your participants to access the Vevox web app. By default, the sessions are set to anonymous. We'll cover how to change to an identified session later in the settings. Now let's dive into a session. At the top of your screen, you can see the name of the session you're in and the session ID to share with your participants. To allow participants to join, we have to start the session. If you want to run more than one session simultaneously, you will need to speak to us about a multi-user account. Connections show the maximum number of simultaneous participants your license will allow alongside the number that are currently connected. This is also where you can access help resources such as the help site, webinars, and how-to videos. The features of Vevox are controlled using the menu on the left. Now you don't have to do things in this order, but for the purposes of this introduction, we are going to work through them from the top down. Live polling. So, let's start by taking a look at live polls. As this is a brand new meeting, we don't have any polls yet. You can either create a poll from scratch, import one of our many pre-made polls, or use our AI tool to generate quiz questions on any subject. All polls can be edited to suit your needs. For this tutorial, we'll be starting one from scratch. Let's make a simple icebreaker poll. Icebreakers are a great way to show participants how Vevox works. Type your question and select a question type. Depending on your subscription, you will see the polls that are available to you. We'll stick with a multiple choice question for this tutorial. Add our choices. We have the option to add photos to the question too. Since this is an icebreaker question, there is no correct answer here, but if you were setting up a quiz style question, this is where you would do it. For this example, we'll limit the allowed selections to 1 and we'll opt to display the results as a pie chart. You can accept the default poll settings or choose from the custom options available. These include countdown timers and how and when the poll results will be shown. Click Create and you have made your first poll. Now let's jump over to the Present view to run our first poll. Present view. Present view is your interactive audience display. As well as displaying polls and Q&A to your audience, it also gives you the option to manage them, avoiding the need to have more than one screen. On the left, we have the QR code for participants to scan to join the session, which you can also enlarge by clicking on it. Alternatively, participants can navigate to vevox.app and enter the session ID. Here, on the right, is where polls, Q&A, and leaderboards will display. This control panel is how you run polls and view any quiz leaderboards. All you have to do is open the poll and your participants can now respond. Then when you're ready, close the poll to reveal the results. Because this is a multiple choice style question, we have the option to choose different display types. If you have more than one poll, you can now move on to the next one or close it to look at the Q&A. Quiz. To run a quiz and track scores, simply add correct answers to the questions you wish to be included. At any point, you can click the leaderboard trophy icon to show the leaderboards of individual scores. At the same time, the participants' devices will also show their personal scores and placing. Speed and team scoring are also available. Head to our help site to find out more. Q&A. Setting up and managing Q&A with Vevox is really easy. By default, it's already switched on and participants can ask questions as soon as the session is live. So, in its simplest form, that's it. Participants can select the Q&A tab in the app and start submitting their questions and comments whenever they wish. All questions and comments appear on all participants' devices, where they can upvote the ones they like. They can also downvote depending on the session settings. As the host, you can sort these by most recent, most liked, or filter them via labels that participants or moderators can add. Let's go back over to the dashboard to see what's happening behind the scenes. Here, on the Q&A board, we can see the questions coming in. Here, you can also publish an announcement. This will be pinned to the top of the Q&A board in a different color to make it stand out. Let's choose one of these examples for now. You can also add labels to categorize the questions or comments as they come in. This is really helpful in sessions with a larger volume of questions or comments. You can also reply to messages and archive them to hide them once they've been addressed. For added control, turn on the moderation feature. This allows you to review messages and choose ones which are published to the present view and participants' devices. There's also the option to share this link to share moderation responsibilities with someone else. When we turn moderation on, 4 new tabs become available. They're quite self-explanatory, so we won't go into too much detail here. But now, if someone asks a question, it will go straight into the Needs Review tab, and from there you can move it into the relevant tab. It's as simple as that. Engaging, inclusive Q&A with complete control. Surveys. Surveys are similar to polls, but rather than being answered live, participants can answer them at their own pace, whether that be before, during, or after a session. Let's take a look. Like polls, there are several ways to get started. You can start from scratch, use the AI quiz question generator, or import them. For this introduction, we'll start one from scratch. Let's say we want to find out what our audience thought of their first interactive session. So we want to create a feedback survey. We can edit the name and the description so participants can see what the survey is for. And, if we choose to, shuffle the question order to avoid neighboring participants being able to easily copy each other. Adding questions to our survey is the exact same process as adding live polls. When you're ready, you can start the survey, and a new tab will be available in the participant app showing the survey is now available. If your survey has any questions with correct answers, the survey will automatically be recognized as a quiz. Once participants complete the quiz, they'll get immediate feedback on their answers and how they did. You can open, close, and reopen multiple surveys or quizzes at the same time whilst the session is active, allowing participants to answer them at their own pace. Data. The Data tab contains all your session data and results. Here you can see a quick summary of your session, including participation and attendance rates. You can view individual polls, Q&A, and survey results, as well as downloading images for sharing and reports. For more detail or further analysis, download the session's Excel data report, which contains all the data and drills down as far as responses by individual participant. If you wish to clear all data, but keep the polls and surveys to run a session again, it can be reset. This action removes all the participants' data, but you can still download this data later from your session history. Settings. The Settings tab is where you can take full control over each section of your session. Most of these are self-explanatory, so we won't go into too much detail here now. We can change the session name, date, and time. Note this is purely for your scheduling. You will still need to stop and start your meetings manually. From here, you can also disable the default profanity filter if needed. Edit the poll default settings. Remember, these can be changed for each individual poll. Toggle Q&A as well as enable downvotes. Choose the level to which you wish your participants to be identified. The default setting is anonymous, but enabling identification lets you choose whether to show participant names, hide them, or allow participants to decide. This applies to names displayed on the Q&A board, leaderboard, and data reports. App customization and present view allows you to fully brand Vevox to suit your needs. In the app, you can upload a class or event image, add a welcome message and agenda, and choose custom colors. For present view, you can upload a logo and background image, select bar colors, and adjust the joining instructions to be light or dark, depending on your background. You can also choose whether to display the joining instructions or QR code on your screen. Add co-hosts to your session by entering their email address, granting control to a colleague whilst presenting. Vevox integrates with a variety of other platforms, such as PowerPoint, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, and more. Head to our help site for further details. Upgrading your account. In your profile, you will see your current plan and where to upgrade. If you would like to discuss which plan is right for you or would prefer to be invoiced, contact us using the details found in the description below. Congratulations! You've completed your tour of Vevox and ready to make your next class, meeting, or conference unmissable. If you have further questions or would like to learn more, click here to access support resources or contact our friendly and expert team via email or live chat.